Right, so in this video we're going to talk a little bit about the very basics of strumming. Right now, not worrying about using a pick or exactly how we're doing it, but just getting some of the basics and showing how strumming really creates the rhythm for your playing. I've heard somebody say your left hand is what you know and your right hand is who you are. I think what they meant by that was that your left hand, there's a lot of players who can play a lot of incredible stuff with their left hand. The right hand really gives the soul and the feeling to things. So hopefully over the course of this class you're going to discover how to create those grooves and those feelings with your right hand, even if your left hand is not quite up to speed yet. So we're going to start off by just establishing a beat with our right hand. Now when we strum, whether or not you're using a pick, most of the time you want your right hand to be really relaxed. You want most of the motion to come from turning your hand. Your elbow is involved some, your wrist is involved some too, your fingers, but most of the motion comes from this turning, like this, going back and forth, like you're not sure about something, that kind of motion. And I like to say it's like flicking water off your hands. If you've got a wet hand and you're kind of just flicking it off, that kind of snapping motion. That's going to give you a lot of speed, a lot of energy in your strum. It also, notice your hand is pretty loose when you do that, and it usually starts off closed and opens up. So for right now we're going to be trying to hit the strings with the backs of our fingernails. So kind of like this. So, and I notice how I'm just kind of rolling through, and I'm using all my fingers. You could just use two, kind of like you're holding a pick. You're going to get a fuller sound if you use all your fingers. And notice how I'm still really not moving my elbow very much at all. So if we want to establish a beat, I'm going to play a D chord. And I'm going to just establish the beat by doing down strums in a steady, repetitive motion. So just like this, play with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, with the D chord, we don't hit the bottom two strings, so just be careful with that. That's another advantage of having the turning motion. You can get a lot more accurate. You can kind of plant your elbow and forearm in one place and then turn so that I'm just hitting starting at the D string, maybe grazing the A string a little bit on the way down. Whereas if I'm going like this, I have a lot harder time not hitting that low E and A string. So that turning allows more accuracy. So you may have noticed I automatically have to come back up in between to go back down. I always want my downstroke to be kind of on the beat, and then the upstroke is going to come in between and it's going to automatically divide that beat. When I do an upstroke, the best way to do it is to really just brush a couple strings. I don't need to get the full, all 6 strings, because that's going to create too much sound on the upstroke. Let me show you what I mean. I'll do this on a G chord, just so you can get the full effect. So the downstroke is here. If I come back up, and if I do that in a strumming pattern, it's kind of a very full sound. What I want to do instead is just brush a couple. Maybe the top 2 or 3 strings, 1 or 2 or 3, and that's going to get enough for the rhythm. The off beats, the up beats, are actually a lot less important than the down beats most of the time. There will be some exceptions, but for now let's stick with that. So I go down, 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to stick in the up beats now. On the up, I was still just hitting a couple strings. It gives enough rhythm to it to establish the rhythm without overpowering the downbeats. There I was very mechanical. I was down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. And what that does is it creates eighth notes in between those quarter notes. If the downbeats are the quarter notes, the eighths cut every one exactly in half. And sometimes that's what you want. We're going to learn a strumming pattern here that's quarter, eighth, eighth, quarter, eighth, eighth. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Just over and over again. So we're going to go back to the D chord, and let's try that. Down, down, up, down, down, up. Ready? 2, 3, and. That's the basic beat. As you get faster and faster, and you can add more things in, it actually gets more interesting. So notice there I was going faster, and I was also adding a little accent in, and that kind of gives it some of its feel, the groove to it. Now, we don't always play those eighth notes what we call straight. What I mean by straight eighths is when you exactly divide the quarter note into half. Da, 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 da. Sometimes we do what's called swing the eighth notes. Now to swing the eighth notes, really all you're doing with your hand, you don't change the pattern at all. It's still going to be down, down, up, down, down, up. But instead of being down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, very even like that, it's going to be a little bit more rolling. Some people almost say lazy. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. So it's a little uneven. The first eighth note in the group of two is going to be a little bit longer. Da, 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 da. If you have trouble getting this feel, say do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do, ba, do. That's kind of the feel of it. So let's try that. Let's try this one on an A chord. And it's going to be da, 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 down, down, up, ready, and down. So you kind of feel how that rolls along a little bit, as opposed to the straight eighths, down, down, up, down, down, up. So you want to practice each one of those, and practice telling the difference and going back and forth. When you're listening to a song, see if you can hear whether it's swung or whether it's straight eighths. There's one more element that we should look at. What if I want to do something that's faster than just da, 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 da? What if I want to go da, 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 da? I'm still having the quarter note is right here, but I'm playing eighth notes, da, 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 da. And that last part was sixteenths. If I go down, up, down, up, down, up, da, da, that alternating pattern has gone away now, and it's going to be a problem to try to keep that up. So in this case, because the smallest unit I'm trying to use is 16th notes, which are half as long as the eighth notes, I'm going to play a downstroke for every single eighth note. And that way, when I want to play the 16th notes, they're going to be up. So if I play what I was just playing, down, 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 down. So it kind of changes the feel of it. And this is what, at the basics, at the base level of what I call rock strumming. So rock strumming is when you have the eighth notes are the downbeat. You'd still tap your foot with the quarter note. Da, 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 da. That's the eighth note right there. Right now, let's not worry about playing 16th notes. We'll get there eventually. But we know that that's the reason why we're going to play all downstrokes. The other difference between rock strumming and basic strumming is that usually you're kind of playing with a shorter stroke, a little bit tighter hand. Usually I kind of keep my hand like this rather than going full through and opening up my hand on every stroke. I'm going to keep it pretty close and usually just play the bass few strings of whatever chord I'm playing. So if I'm playing the D chord, it's still going to be the D string as my bass string, and really I just need to play 2 or 3 strings. So on the D chord, I'm going to play eighth notes. So here's my quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4. My eighth notes are going to be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, 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 like that. So let's try that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Down, 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 down. Notice how my hand kind of stays closed. I'm really only hitting a few strings. I'm not going down, 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 down. That sounds kind of silly when I play, especially when I play all 6 strings, like on a G chord. I don't want to go through all of them. I'm going to keep my hand nice and closed and tight, and I'm just going to play a few strings. So, totally different sound from the other kind of strumming we're doing. So you want to practice those 3 different ways of strumming. One with regular down, up, down, up, down, up eighths, straight. One with the down, up, down, up, down, up, down, swung eighths. And then one with the down, 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 which is the rock strumming. All of these will be things that we build on to get more complex strumming patterns later on. But for now, those are the ones you want to do. Practice them slow, speed them up, try to make them really to the point where you get really fluent with each one of them. You can play them over different chords, you can switch chords while you're playing them. The eventual goal is that you forget about your right hand, that you just let it happen, you're feeling it. That's somewhere down the road for most of us. Most of us won't get there, maybe not even in the course of this semester, but you'll get there eventually if you keep practicing it. So, happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.